Beyond the Badge, The Dual Life of Cabo Bruno. In the vibrant heart of São Paulo during the 1980s, a decade marked by political unrest and societal change, Floresvaldo de Oliveira, known infamously as Cabo Bruno, emerged as one of Brazil's most controversial figures. A former officer of the military police of São Paulo state, Cabo Bruno was accused of orchestrating a chilling vigilante campaign, claiming the lives of more than 50 individuals on the city's outskirts. This exploration delves into Oliveira's complex world, from his early years to his descent into notoriety. Born on November 18, 1958, Floresvaldo de Oliveira's journey to infamy began within the ranks of São Paulo's military police, where he served with a commendable record. His transformation from a respected officer to a feared vigilante killer is a tale of paradoxes, blurring the lines between law enforcement and criminality. Oliveira's life before the alleged crimes was marked by the routine discipline of police work, a stark contrast to the dark path his life would take. Cabo Bruno's name became synonymous with fear in the early 1980s, as reports of extrajudicial killings began to surface. Victims, often linked to petty crime or suspected of involvement in the criminal underworld, were found executed, a grim signature of Oliveira's supposed handiwork. Initially, he admitted to these acts, claiming a warped sense of justice drove him to cleanse the streets of São Paulo. The controversy surrounding Cabo Bruno was not just in the deeds he confessed to, but also in the public's reaction. To some, he was a vigilante hero, taking on crime where the system failed. To others, a cold-blooded murderer who took the law into his own hands. This duality of perception added layers to his infamy, making Oliveira one of the most controversial characters in the police chronicle, as described by the media. Oliveira's arrest and subsequent trial captivated the nation. The courtroom became a battleground for moral and legal debates, with Oliveira initially admitting to the crimes, only to later recant his testimony. The shift in his confession added a layer of mystery and speculation about the motivations behind his actions and the true extent of his involvement in the vigilante killings. Floresvaldo de Oliveira, known by the infamous moniker Cabo Bruno, left a legacy as intricate as the web of secrets he weaved. Emerging from the shadows of a lengthy prison sentence, his life met a brutal conclusion on September 26, 2012, in a chilling act of assassination mere moments after tasting freedom once more. This final, violent chapter appeared almost predestined, mirroring the chaotic trajectory of his existence. Cabo Bruno's enigmatic persona continues to cast a long shadow over Brazilian history, stirring up passionate discussions and contentious dialogues on justice, ethics, and the boundaries of law enforcement long after his demise. For those who lost loved ones at the hands of Cabo Bruno, his death brought a sense of closure, but it also reopened old wounds. Their anger towards Oliveira was compounded by the belief that he had evaded true justice. But for some residents of São Paulo's impoverished communities, Cabo Bruno was seen as a protector against crime and violence. In these areas where trust in law enforcement was low, Oliveira's actions were sometimes seen as necessary evils to ensure safety. The tragic demise of Cabo Bruno sparked widespread discussions regarding the deep-rooted deficiencies present in Brazil's criminal justice system. It served as a stark reminder of the system's failure not only towards Cabo Bruno himself, but also towards those who fell victim to his alleged crimes. Numerous critics and analysts highlighted the pervasive structural issues within the police force, shedding light on how individuals like Oliveira could ascend to positions of power and perpetrate egregious acts seemingly unchecked. Revelations from official reports and witness accounts painted a harrowing picture of institutional neglect and corruption, exposing a troubling reality that allowed such injustices to persist unchallenged. Following the notorious case of police brutality involving Cabo Bruno, a decorated officer turned criminal, a wave of demands for reform has surged through Brazil's law enforcement agencies. Advocates are pushing for concrete changes, such as mandatory human rights workshops for all officers, the implementation of body cameras to ensure accountability during operations, and the establishment of an independent oversight committee to review and make public all internal investigations into police misconduct. Floresvaldo de Oliveira, known as Cabo Bruno, was a former police officer in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. His story unfolds as a cautionary tale, revealing the perilous consequences that can arise when individuals take justice into their own hands. Oliveira's descent into darkness began after a series of corruption allegations surfaced against him within the police force. This led to his expulsion from the department and marked the beginning of his vigilante crusade. Reports indicate that Oliveira's actions became increasingly erratic and violent as he sought retribution for what he perceived as injustices committed against him. Eyewitness testimonies recount harrowing encounters with Cabo Bruno, describing him as a figure consumed by a twisted sense of righteousness. His pursuit of vigilante justice blurred the lines between right and wrong, plunging him deeper into a moral quagmire. The tragic outcome of Oliveira's life beyond the badge serves as a stark reminder of the intricate web woven by justice, morality, and humanity's capacity for both benevolence and malevolence. As we delve into Oliveira's narrative, we are confronted with the chilling reality of how one man's quest for retribution can spiral into a vortex of darkness, leaving behind a legacy fraught with turmoil and regret. The story of Cabo Bruno, woven into the fabric of São Paulo's history, challenges us to confront the realities of crime, punishment, and the elusive nature of justice. If this in-depth exploration into one of Brazil's most enigmatic figures has intrigued you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that delves into the shadows of history and the human condition.